Hi everyone, this is Manoj M. The intent of this video is to do a little weekend analysis of what's happening on Nifty and BankNifty and what are we looking at, what are the charts telling us for the coming period. So this is obviously using some price action and some technical analysis tools that I normally do to understand what's happening on the chart and what is the structure and what can happen. Now, obviously, these are probabilities I'm trying to discuss. I'm not sure if this is going to happen or no, but it gives me a cue that given a particular move and if my direction is right, what will I see? And given a particular counter move, what can happen? So here goes. Let's start with Nifty. This is a 4-hour chart. So I'd rather go on the weekly chart first to understand what has been happening in the past few weeks. If you see, we've been sideways in the last few weeks, right from December onwards. We've been having a sideways action. We are in a range which is, let me take a tool to get you the range. So the range is on the top, it's at 22,132, which was our top. Now this Nifty spot for sure. And on the bottom, the range has been somewhere around 21,136. So if you see, this is a 1,000-point range, and which we've been there for the last 40 days, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks. For the last 8 weeks, we have been in this range. In fact, you can count this week also. So 9 weeks, we have been in this range of 1,000 points. Given that we are having an ATR of 250 points a day, so that means that the ATR tells you what is the range that the Nifty is traveling every day. 250 points move that we see every day, and still we aren't reaching the 1,000-point range. So every 4 days we hit the bottom, and every 4 days we hit the top is what the range is telling us. Now, unless we break these boundaries, we are going to remain in this range, is the understanding that we get from this chart. So let's go to the daily time frame now and see what has been happening in the last few days. So in the last few days, if you see, we have hit the top of the range, and now we are beginning to travel down. So the initial thought process is that given the last 3 days, we have been falling. We have seen a little bit of a profit booking at the weekend, because obviously if you've been selling on the top on Wednesday and Thursday, you would want to take home those profits on Friday. That's the little reversal that you saw on the Friday, late in the Friday after a good fall. Now, I use the volume profile to understand where we are, what is the average area in the value area in which people are trading, and where people are finding some kind of equilibrium. So here's what we see. This is the value area. This is 68 to 70% of all trades that happened in terms of volume in the period of the 8 weeks that we're talking about. And we are just about in the center of everything that happened. So this red line that you see here is the actual point of equilibrium, which all traders have found for trades that happened in this week. So most of the trades, the maximum amount of trades have happened at 21,730 points, so 730 odd value. And we tracked below that, and immediately we found support. So this area is very important. Now, there are two things that can happen from here. Normally, the wave that we see is for the prices to follow in a direction where you have an upswing, and then you track back to the top of the range, and then you go back to the bottom, you hit some extreme beyond the bottom, and then you track back in. Again, you track back to the top, to the top of the value area, and then you try and track back to the lower end of the value area. Given that this is a daily chart, we are actually either heading down towards the lower end of the value area, which is somewhere around 21,442. This would be our first target. Seeing that the prices are now returning from the top and leading down, this will be the first assessment that we take. So we could find some resistance somewhere here, and then we could track lower, is what I see in Nifty. Now, yes, we can track higher too. We can track to test these tops also and then lead down. So you have to be aware that within this area, we have to look at what resistances we find, and from there we might be leading down. This could just be a slight pullback. especially because we've broken these lows. If the low is broken and if we're seeing a sweep, we might go right to the top also. That is one probability. The other probability is we could face some resistance within this area. So what we can do is we can go to a lower time frame and look for some places where there are some areas where I could see some concern. I don't see a very good formation on the 1 hour. Let me check the 15-minute. On the 15-minute, we have seen a breakdown from here, but still the levels look tested. I don't see any sharp, I see a sharp fall here, but again, there's not much, a good level to see from where we can see a fall. I'll go down to the 5-minute, and here I see 2 or 3 levels from where we could see a fall. So here there are 2 areas where I feel some interest. These are supply zones, and this could be one area, and this could be the second area where we could see some negative activity from. So on the lower time frame, these are the 2 areas that I see we could have some falls from. So now, given that this area is already got an area on the top, the most high probability trade for this particular part of the week, early part of the week, is that we would trace back to 21,938 in the first phase. And then from there on, we could build a trade where we could have a fall. This is obviously a prediction based on what I see on the chart. We could expect to go back right up to the top also, which seems improbable, but you never know. And then from this area, we could see a fall, and this could be our first target, the low end of what we've seen in the last few days. This is the lower end of what we've seen in the last few days. So this would be my first trade for the next week. We would go short at 21,937, and we could take a stop loss of 22,069, and then we could see a target down to 21,635, which would give us a risk reward of 2.27 on this trade, and that's what I think the Nifty can do in the coming week. Let's go to Bank Nifty and see what the Bank Nifty is offering us again on the spot chart. Let me see what the Bank Nifty is doing. So what we'll go do is we'll go in the weekly first, and like the first instance, we'll see what's happening in the week. So what we've seen here in the past few weeks is that we went higher in the last few weeks, and we traced up to the top. Do we have a top here? So we made a top in the last few weeks. We made a top of 48,400 odd, and from there we've seen some retracement back into and we have breached the lower end of the we breached the lower end from where we had seen a breakout, a gap up. We went up, we went down, and now we've tested those areas from where the breakouts happened, and we could be looking at again crossing high back into that range. So the Bank Nifty is looking to have reverted back from the old range. It has taken support from the previous area from where it had taken a breakout, it had taken a gap up, and it had gone up. And there's been a sweep of the lows, and we are beginning to rise higher. Now, what I'm seeing here is, because this is a sideways move in the last so many days, if I use my tool and take an idea from what my tool is giving me, we are at the bottom range of the value area for sure. I'm just waiting for the tool to give me some results, but I don't think it's giving me results. Let's go to the daily and see if things comes on. No, I'm not getting that. I am not getting that tool to give me that volume profile. So the tool is not giving me any volume profile, maybe because they don't have traded volumes on this. But as I see it, this is the area of relevance. This, you see, is the area of relevance that we have. And if I were to create a range from what we see here, this is the top of the range, and this is the bottom of the range. I have to take it here. Is what we see. This is the bottom of the range. Now we do have some extremities, which are points from where there's been a liquidity sweep and we've gone up. So in all probability, we can see Bank Nifty going back to the top of the range, that is 46,919. So in the first moves, we could have a rise in the markets, which would take us from 45,634 to 46,950 odd levels, and there we'll find some resistance, like what we saw in the last move. And from there on, we would then see if this level is breached. If this level is breached, then we will try and make one more move, which could take us to the top of the higher range, and that could take us to 48,300 odd, which was near the lifetime high. Or we could see a fall from this area and back into the lower areas of the existing range, which is around 44,000, 44,500, rough somewhere around 44,500. 45,000 actually. Yeah. What is it? The range is 44,800 odd. So these are the likely scenarios in Bank Nifty on the daily. Now let's also go to a 1 hour chart and see what is in store for us immediately. Yeah, 1 hour chart also tells me the same, gives me the same reading. The first target tomorrow, if we go higher, which I think we will be about this level, which is 46,202. So we should have a 600 point rally to take us to the top to 46,186 in the first phase. And then from there on, we could go higher. If we break this threshold of 46,200, and if we take a reversal from there, we'll head back lower to 45,575 odd. So these are the probable moves that we have on the lower time frame. Obviously, the market does not move in one direction in a go. It does its jigsaws. It goes up and down and then tracks back to the higher levels, because there's profit booking on the way, and the institutions don't just take a one-side view. They will always book some profits and let people shed those and not go along with them. So that's the way the market operates. So when I show you this line, it doesn't mean that it'll go in one go. It will give its pullbacks and then take us higher to this level. That's what I expect from the Bank Nifty in the coming week. So this is a small video about what I feel is going to happen in the coming week. We'll obviously be tested with the actual moves that happened during the week. And yeah, we can look back at this video after the week has elapsed and see how our analysis went. So this basically gives you a cue of what can happen as far as the charts are concerned, and you can plan your moves accordingly. Obviously, you need to be aware that these are my predictions based on what I see on the charts. I could be wrong, and I reserve my right to be wrong. But yes, I will have to make a bias to trade, and that's my bias for my trading plan. If you are okay with what I have just shown you, you might as well take a similar plan and plan your trades accordingly. That's it for this video. Thanks for being a part of this video, and let's see how this goes. Until the next video, look forward to seeing you guys again. Thank you.